Hello.
Hey.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
I'm Johnny. Um I don't know who I am, but I'm joined by this other guy in my ears who hopefully knows who he is.
Yeah, they say I've been told my name is Baron J67. Um
Uh is
that's
that
the
your second
story.
life name?
Yeah, that's my second life name. I definitely DJ on the weekends, and you guys are more than free to come and check out my shows. Second Life Baron J67. I'm not on Second Life, but might as well be cuz I'm living that
No.
second life in VR.
That's right. VR and Valheim, where you're in for a very V heavy topic this week.
I can't. I can't. Um. So before we get into that, right, Johnny, let the world know what game you've been playing lately. Like what's been eating up your time.
Oh boy. Well, as you know, I game with a couple of games in rotation.
Got you.
Uh, so in this month it's been XCOM 2,
Oh, okay.
CK2,
What's CK2?
and Crusader Kings 2.
Oh, okay.
Uh, but it's heavily modded, so it's not the base game because that's very boring.
Got you.
And I just got yesterday GTA 5 for PC.
Oh, well, now what made you go out and buy that bad boy?
It was it's you can get it now for $15 on Steam.
Oh, that's actually
And
pretty darn cheap, especially with the quote unquote update getting ready to come out.
yeah, so I got it while the embers were hot because I am not paying full price for that game. Like 10 years later, that's unacceptable.
I just refuse, bro. Like, so what are you doing? And what what brought you back to GTA 5?
Well, it's been quite a while since I've actually played, and that would have been on the Xbox.
Okay.
Um, it would have been like autumn of last year, so it's been quite a while. And so now I'm on this brave new frontier of Los Santos again, and
Again.
this time it's been almost impossible to get around because I don't know who mapped the controls for PC, but clearly they have either 10 hands or no brain. Um, so I don't know. Flying is impossible. I can just about get, drive, wield weapons and respond to people trying to heckle me in chat. And that's been my journey thus far.
He's like that's been it. That you know I wouldn't even know where to begin. Right. I if you guys remember, GTA 5 came out right before the previous gen consoles released. I want to say like a month, maybe 2 months. Um, and I remember playing GTA 5 and then like, oh, I gotta have the new console because of course it's a new generation of consoles. So I traded in everything like the rookie I was in order to get the previous gen consoles. But for those who don't remember, previous gen console launch, there wasn't no games. Like it was like Rise, Son of Rome.
Which is
Um,
a great game.
yeah. Um, it was what else? I think a
Oh, because
racing game.
it was that a racing game in Dead Rising.
Dead Rising 4. Yep, or Dead Rising 3.
It
Um,
was Death Stranding man with a big chainsaw stick.
yeah, and you were in the open world, and it was like a really big area. And
Oh,
I
and
put
like they had it so like it was like Connect support, remember? And so like if you turned on lights in your room, it would attract them. And of course, like if you said anything, then you were dead.
bro, I really liked the I really like the freaking Connect. I used it all the time. I even used it when it was on the 360, especially during my time on the 360 era of Skyrim. But back to GTA 5. What have you been doing in it so far?
Uh, just driving around listening to the radio because on Xbox I'm in like the 400s when it comes to level, so
Oh,
I've done
snaps.
everything.
Oh,
Yeah,
what
I'm
up,
not
Mini
going to
Yeti?
restart. Like that's hundreds of hours I'd need to reinvest because of
Yeah.
course in 2022 there's no such thing as cross-platform like synchronization, right? So I'm not going to give in to their greedy ways and force me to spend $500 real world to catch up to where
Mm,
I was.
got you.
No, I'm just gonna chill.
And
Maybe. Oh, what's that?
oh no, I was gonna say Mini Yeti. XCOM is a dope game. Elden Ring greater than Valheim. Sure. Um, Marvel Midnight Suns, definitely looking forward to it. I trust Fire Access Games. They've made one of my all time favorite series, and they have yet to come up with something that just makes me pause. So I'm gonna go ahead and be hopeful for Midnight Sun. I'm still a little iffy on how it's gonna work because I'm usually not big on the card mechanic thing, but that's not a complete turn off from the situation. So I'm excited to see where that goes. And then,
Did you play?
mhm.
Did you play Chimera Squad?
No, not yet. I own it though.
Oh, it's a big step down from XCOM 2.
Really?
Yeah, they don't let you customize your guys. They have pre-made soldiers, and there's like only like a
Ah,
roster of 10, which is I don't get
ah.
it.
Do you think that was the precursor to working out some kinks for Midnight Sun?
Well, I mean, it's hasn't it been out for a couple of years now?
But yeah, but we all know game development is. I mean, Chimera Squad maybe 2 years max. It ain't. It hasn't been out that long. 2019 at the earliest.
Yeah, but who knows? I mean, it kind of seems strange that you would send like the sacrificial lamb to test a game mechanic.
Not necessarily. That I mean, why not? Because especially the way they sold it, it definitely went against the mold of typical XCOM fashion. Like, hey, now the world's better. Now we work together. Unity. Like everything about it just was absolutely. I guess it fit the progression of the story, but it just doesn't fit the typical, what we're absolutely just used to in terms of
It plays
XCOM.
like XCOM, but it like the combat is pretty much the only thing like the same.
Mm. But
I
yeah,
didn't enjoy it.
got you. Well, that's
They are
fair.
capable of, not home runs.
Yeah. Oh no, dude. I mean, come on. We live in a world where Fallout 76 dropped the way it did. At launch, it launched the way it did. So, in saying all of that, back to Midnight Sun. I'm I'm optimistic, but I'm not gonna sit here and like I know I'm gonna buy it. Like I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to you guys. I'm gonna buy it. That's gonna happen. I might even get like a collector's edition as long as it doesn't come with some giant statue that I'll probably never open. Because I'm weird like that. But on to what today is about, Johnny.
Yes, sir.
Valheim, the V, one of the V's that we're discussing today. What do you think about what's been going on with Valheim lately in terms of like the new update?
Well, it's definitely a warm welcome because as someone who's been playing Valheim uh for a good while, it's not fair to say that there is a boatload of new content recently. Um, I don't remember when they said this, but they did say that they were more focused on stabilizing the already existing game before trying to pile more stuff on top, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's you still feel like the stagnation. Like, how do you like? It's a very good game, but how do you ship the game with three whole biomes just with nothing? They occupy the space as a biome, but there's literally nothing in them. I don't get
Mm.
that. So, I mean, one of not in this update, but
And
I guess
which biomes are those? For those who don't know.
the like either it's like the Mistlands or the Ashlands.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those. The very frozen north, and then the very like you know, HE double hockey sticks to the south.
Got you.
Uh, None of those three regions have content whatsoever. They're just like deserts of just nothingness. And I don't really understand why would you even include them yet.
Mm.
But,
Do do you?
hopefully it'll
Oh, go ahead.
be I was just gonna say hopefully they flush them out soon because like we're like going to approach them quickly.
True. Because I know at this point our next step is to run through and conquer the mountains. That's where we are as of now.
Yeah.
Um, I'll say this right. Valheim. Oh, excuse me. Valheim is one of those games that has so much potential, and I hope people continue to buy into it. Because I know for me, like I'm not totally against games being beta for a long time and being early in on it, and then all of a sudden it getting a full release, or it getting the treatment that it deserves. I mean, we can go down the list for me. No Man's Sky, Starbound. You know what I mean? Like I'm not completely against early access games or games that
No.
should be in early access. I'm not. My no, I'm not gonna be that much of a stickler about that type of stuff. But do be transparent and try your best to be consistent. I understand, we live in a world where there's a lot going on, whether it's the Panasonic we're dealing with or, the battle, the global issues. There's something going on, so I'm not ignorant to that. But just communicate. Communication is a lot for me, and I'm glad that the first thing you see in Valheim once you get to the load screen is you see a hot fix and a patch note list right on the side, very legible, quick with dates. I believe that's a really good sign. I think it's a way to kind of, what's the phrase, garner the goodwill of the people. Like, it's a good sign.
Yeah. I
Um,
agree.
and let me see. I believe, I believe Valheim has the potential. Okay, once they fill those biomes, they need to do a giant re-release.
You think?
Like, yeah, like just do a full new push as if it's a brand new game. Like, go all out, give it almost the would it be Fortnite? Which game did that? Um,
Um, I don't know.
there was a couple of games where they like almost not a rebrand, but almost like pushed it out as if it was something just completely different. And
Well, you could argue No Man's Sky
No Man's
kind
Sky
of did
for
that.
sure, those big updates. And I'm man, don't get me started on that because I can go for hours about why I'm so happy that team didn't give up, and they easily could have, and nobody would have blamed them. They
I think millions of people could have blamed them, but
Well, but it would have been understandable why they just dusted their hands off and walked away, versus taking the route they did and continuously building onto that. That's what I mean by that. I I want Valheim because, bro, once again, I think the game right now sits at like 1 point something gigs with updates.
um, let me see. Whilst
Like,
I have a way of testing of showing this, so you go on about. Keep
I want
going.
to say our podcast today, like once it renders and everything, will be a bigger file than what Valheim is.
Oh yeah.
And that's absolutely bonkers because there is so much that goes on in that game. And I wonder if they're gonna get more vertical. And I wonder I wanna know, that's what I would want. I would want more verticality. I would want something to do with the water outside of just being on boats, like maybe a little more in depth fishing.
Or just
Maybe,
giving us the ability to, I don't know, dive underwater.
yeah. What's the point of having all that stamina if we can't dive to pick up the items that we killed an enemy and they drop to the ocean, the floor of the water? Um,
1.17 gigs.
See what I'm saying? Like I got scrap videos, B-roll that's a larger file than that game, and there's just so much we haven't experienced. And the procedural generation part of it is actually pretty dope. Now we've talked about Valheim a lot. We This is a game that I really want to beat. I know that it's been on the back burner for me because reviews and Elden Ring, and now I'm going into the digital world. Link start. But it's something. It's up there as one of the games I really want to complete because it's just so pretty. And then it's dope moving around the world, and then the fog shifting in, and God, man.
Yeah.
So, what
Um.
do you?
It.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just, no. Please, I insist.
No, I was gonna ask you what do you picture being like the next big update, and talk about. Can you break down what happened recently? Because I know there was something they added in.
So the big feature in this most recent update, as of time of recording,
Yeah, yeah.
is they added caves, which I believe show up in the mountains. I mean, it could also be in like big hills and like other biomes, but we haven't encountered one yet, so I've yet to really answer that with certainty. But there's supposed to be like maybe ores in there, I think. So maybe we'll have an alternate means of getting iron, which would be cool, and maybe some copper as well. I'm
Mm.
hoping that's what it is, but I know there's also monsters and stuff in there as well. So it's not going to be a cakewalk free of freebies, but um, I wonder what it's actually going to be. Because if they are in the mountains, we're going to have to face off against like wolves and weremen,
Mm.
because those are something that, you know, only come out at night and there's no sun in caves.
You know what I love? I love that there's a whole within the regions that I've traveled, because there's some places Johnny's been because he's played on different seeds or different worlds, and I
Yeah.
haven't. I've only played within the world that we created together. But what's hilarious is you have came across weremen, sea monsters, drakes, and not the rapper, the mini dragons. And I want to say you came across something else, and I have not seen them yet.
I feel like you're on Greyjoy from the books and not the TV adaptation.
Ah, like I'm just off
'Cause,
existing.
yeah, like I mean in the book he's like ventured to every like part of the world and he's like seen everything, But
And
basically sums up my Valheim exploration.
dude, and that's what's so wild about it, right? Like, how is it that you've you've spent a lot of hours in the game, but we've been in a lot of the same areas. Like, I still have
Mhm.
not seen a sea monster.
Haven't you? I'm pretty sure we did.
No,
I thought we were chased by one on stream.
were we? I thought I was watching you getting chased by one.
Oh, right.
You
Okay,
went off,
that's probably what
yeah.
it
So
was.
I didn't see it on my screen because I wasn't with you. I want to say it was when we separated in order to go build the like to get back to base or something like that. like we had a wipe or something like that, which we've had quite a
Oh,
few.
right.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's what
that's
happened.
what it was.
Yeah, we had a wipe. You were coming back to get me, and you were trying to avoid like ghosts or something. But me personally, out on my screen, like my character looking at my monitor, I have yet to I have yet to experience. Excuse me. I have yet to experience a sea monster. We've seen the leviathans, which was eerie as hell.
Yeah,
That was
big
just
giant turtles.
yeah, and then you see the eyes like glowing under the water, and then they look like they're gonna do something evil, but then they don't move. It just I don't know. And you know what? Valheim could really benefit from some type of random encounter system. Hey, is that Bubbles? What up, Miss Bubbles? You missed it. There was a couple of D's nuts jokes in the chat, but
Yeah. Baron is always here because he's the one that controls the streams, and this show is the StarCrossed Barons because he's
wow.
80% of the show.
Nope, no, not.
I'm just here for occasional commentary.
Nope, that's not the case. Johnny's here to actually carry the wave, and he is the force that keeps this going.
Oh yeah, I keep his feet to the fire.
Oh
We
yeah,
got a
all the
show
time.
this Sunday. Oh, I can't. The Super Bowl in it.
He said in it. Okay. Yes, an Oculus. Oh, don't. Okay, so I got a whole story about that in a second, but there's some more Valheim talk. Okay, where do you see Valheim? Like, what do you need to see from Valheim within the next, I don't know, couple months? Or what do you
Well, I mean,
hope to see? There you go. That's probably
yeah,
better.
okay. Because I was gonna say, like, I don't even think we're gonna get the mist like biome in the next couple of months based off of their like schedule. But
Gotcha.
long term, I hope it's on their roadmap for at least this year to finish the three biomes and then like swimming and
Yeah, and
because
diving.
like those are like bare bones. Like, you know, there's obviously like I want more building material stuff and like put shields on the ships because it looks bare without them.
True.
But like stuff like that can wait when it comes to like the core because broken core equals broken ship
Mm-hmm.
and broken ships sink. I don't know if you knew that.
Man, they're all trying to float
Or
in the
they
door.
or they just go off the side of the edge because the game pushes you off. That's fun too.
Ooh.
Revert that decision, Valheim developers. Don't
I
push us off with no like means of escaping.
I think what should happen in a weird twist of fate, like you should get randomly teleported to a random spot in the water. Like almost like
Yeah,
a
like
reward for making it this far.
have Odin himself like extend an arm out as you're like falling.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, ho ho ho, still immortal, and then like have him throw you back to spawn or something. I don't know.
Or even have like Idrisil do something like cast a spell or something. That'd be a dope mechanic rather than just because it should be some type of feat to make it to the edge of the world.
Yeah,
It
like
shouldn't be something punished.
you have to want to go there. There's no real advantage to going to the edge of the world, and there should be like a cool thing instead of up your ship is gone and all of the gear you had and all of the cargo on that
And
ship
then there's
and it's gone forever.
or if it's gonna kill you like that, okay, take the ship, but everything that was on my person's throw it in a pile. Like have Mugen bring it. You know what I mean? Have Mugen bring it
Yeah,
to my
because there's the
base.
graves. Just throw the
Yeah,
graves back to spawn or something. Like
yeah. Like the fact that
they're
everything of yours just disappears is kind of
yeah, like
in a game that's already frustrating. Like at times that's just excessive.
yeah, like for people following our progress, we were like kind of in the swamp area still, and
Mm-hmm.
iron is like our toughest set. I lost a whole set of iron off the cliff, or
Yep.
off the edge of the world,
And a
and the
shitload of
iron.
iron.
Yeah. So,
And a bunch of
RIP
iron.
endurance. No, there wasn't any spare iron on board. It was a
Mm.
bunch of copper, I think.
Mm.
But I learned from my mistake. Whenever I make a mistake, like the initial fall of Stormheim or whatever it's called, never forget what happened, and you come back stronger. And we've done just that, and we've declared war on the edge of the world.
Yes. We will figure out a way to build a wall, and we will flood the Earth or the planet or the
We will
plane.
melt the ice caps. Show 'em who's boss.
Okay.
This is your seventh world, huh? Not anymore.
It is ours. Dude, could you imagine if you could chop down the tree like Idrisil?
Ooh, that would be fun.
Can
I
you
feel like
get to
Odin
it?
would have to get in. No, I've in creative mode on one of the other servers. I flew up to it. It's just a still image.
So it just constantly goes away from you.
Yeah, it's like what game does that? Where it's like the 2D image and it just kind of just like pans with you.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Now,
Yeah, it's one of those.
okay. So for me, right, with Valheim, what I would want to see, um, like not simple stuff, smaller things, more mount options, more
Oh yeah, please
customization
give us
options.
horses.
Yeah, like and then combat on horses. I don't know how intense that would be, or if that's an extreme leap. I'm trying to be within reason, but mounts for sure because there already is a mount scenario in there, but just more. Um, I guess a easier tame function, or at least let us ride the
Yeah,
animals we tame.
yeah. I mean, Borba would probably not appreciate it, but at least give us the chance to get kicked off.
Yeah, I just Valheim has such potential
It
because it
does.
is extremely fun. Now for me, I probably wouldn't like dive that deep into it on my own because I'm not the most creative person. Like I could imagine most of my bases being absolute bare bones and them getting destroyed on a regular basis because of how bare bones they are. It's just when I'm building, I'm not gonna say it's forward thinking, but we'll say that forward thinking. It
Yeah,
just
you
I'm
build
for
you
efficiency
build
and for that moment.
yeah, you build like backyard shacks and sheds and stuff. I built
Yeah,
like the palace.
yeah. I tried it way back and left the game within an hour and refunded it. I think it's a play with friends game. Yes, that's how it is for me. It is definitely a play with friends game, especially when I have games like game which you're seeing here gameplay wise, Elden Ring. I have the Oculus. I have a backlog the size of my house. It's I have plenty of other games to play, so as fun as it is, and it's crazy because I love that sense of wonder. Like I mean, back in the day, I used to play a lot of Starbound. I would
Oh
literally
yeah.
run Starbound by myself for hours on end. Like most of my time playing Starbound is absolutely on my own. Like I was not
Yeah.
playing that game with people. I don't even think I was streaming yet when I started playing Starbound.
No,
Um,
probably not.
Yeah, I don't think I was. I'm not against the idea of playing a game you're um where you're alone. Like and there's a lot of creativity in it and whatnot. But what I liked a lot about Starbound and what made it so interesting was the biomes and the worlds all told a story. There was always like you would land on a desert planet and it would look like there's nothing, and then all of a sudden you dig underground and you find like old temples or maybe some scientific research area with NPCs, and they're down there like running some type of research.
Oh, I
And
remember that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's super random, and like you find it in the craziest moments, and you come across all type of oh yeah, No Man's Sky is the same way. Even before all the updates, I put mad time into No Man's Sky. I want to say I put over 100 hours in before even the first major update. So
Yeah.
I was a fan. Like the moment I got to take off from a planet, that absolutely changed. That changed everything for me. That was hands down one of the coolest moments in video games for me. Finally getting your ship up and running to a point to where you can leave the atmosphere. Finally getting the rocket fuel that's needed in order to break through, and then that transition without loading from planet atmospheric level to space. I
Yeah.
I still that's still one of the coolest moments in games for me. Like
Yeah.
still. Um
Too many points about No Man's Sky.
oh, go
Number
for it.
one, way back on release, it was a single player experience. So,
Oh yeah,
there's that to
yeah.
consider.
That
And
was very true.
second, it's not called Many Man Sky. So, it
Yeah.
really kind of gives you the idea that you're not part of a large collective.
Ooh, I'm definitely gonna rebuy. Is there a PlayStation 5 update? I'm gonna have to look into that. But I know once I get a PS5, I'll probably boot back up because I have the collector's edition for No Man's Sky. That was that was the main like drive for me to go out and buy a PS4 because I was just holding out, and I think at the time I just didn't have like a bunch of money like that, and I already had the Xbox One, so I was just kind of just set with what I had, and I was like, I'll get the PS4 later. I bought the PS4 quite late, and I bought it at the time at the time the No Man's Sky dropped. When No Man's Sky released, that's when I bought the PS4. So I was
You,
super late to the party.
you've bought No Man's Sky like I bought Battlefront 2 2005. Just everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Xbox, PS2, PC,
Yeah.
twice.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The updates that have came out with, and it's funny because with No Man's Sky, like Johnny just said, I have I have the Xbox console version of it. I have the PC version of it. I have the PlayStation 4 version of it, and I believe I own it somewhere else. Oh,
Are you
Skyrim's the
putting?
exact same way, maybe
Oh
more.
yeah, Skyrim. I mean, I was just playing that a couple hours ago. Still a great game,
Oh yeah, it holds up, like 100% holds up.
especially with mods.
I'm dude. There's so many games that I have that would get a whole new life if I ran a few mods. Like I'm a vanilla guy when it comes to my PC gaming. Super vanilla.
Oh yeah, I remember you not even wanting to play Warband modded.
Yeah, I'm super vanilla. Um, and that's I
They
think it's
don't
more
break
as
anything.
yeah, I think that's what it is. It's more just a fear of breaking something. That's the main thing. Um, yeah, because that would suck to really be enjoying a game and then add a mod and then all of a sudden it's just broken. But the one
Yeah.
game that I played the most mods with was Kenshi.
Oh, Kenshi. Oh my gosh, that's a game
That was a fun
of
game.
horror.
Oh, watching those people getting eaten alive, bro. If I went back and got that raw footage, we could cut that like a straight up horror movie.
Oh my god, and then
All
we can
all it would
play the
take is
NF.
adding music. That's all it would take.
Yes, and then can we do that one idea I had with I told you about with that one version of Johnny that I showed you?
Oh gosh. That might be something to do in the future. One
Yeah,
of these
let's put a
days.
bookmark on that one.
Yeah, because that was a moment. It was just so random, and it didn't seem like that bad of a decision, and then just it was legit a movie. It was like any of those movies. Oh, we could just go to the jungle to go do some research. It's no like let's go check out what's going on down here. Let's go meet the locals. And then it just
Oh,
goes to crap.
you had
Somebody gets
the
the
you had the cast for it too. You had that
yeah,
person that tried to escape, the
yeah,
the funny guy that died right away.
yeah.
You had it all.
And then you like look off in the distance, you see everybody like the dude screaming my legs, and then he's all getting eaten alive, and then they're praying and chittering. Bro, that was
Uh, yeah, the dude's
yeah,
like, like basically begging for his life, and then they're just like, it's like, oh my god.
yeah. It was oh, that was a ugh. And what did
But
Bubbles
being
say?
in
I
that
played
town is super
Andromeda.
cheesy.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
It is worth the risk of
Once you
getting
get
there.
there, oh yeah, once you get there, it's OP. Then there's a guy to pick up there who has a bunch of dope abilities. All right, God, so many
You
games,
remember?
so little time.
Yeah, you remember when I showed you the one like save file I had where I made like 1 million gold or whatever just in that town?
I think you told me about it. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Oh, I thought I did. Yeah, basically it's just cheesing, stealing stuff, and their inventories reset faster than you can steal everything.
That's ridiculous. I remember all my
Oh yeah.
people had like the best gear. Because once I started stealing, I was like, oh yeah, this is making life extremely easy. Like I will never work hard again.
But that
Um,
gear doesn't always help you, because, even like Super Sensei, like God tier samurai master, will still die to the hordes of what's their names? What
oh,
just sticks?
those dudes, man. Oh god, that was so. Ugh.
Were they the
And then
fog
remember,
ones?
one person got away. Frogmen, that's what they were called. But one person got away. Remember,
Yeah.
one person got
Otherwise, the
away.
whole playthrough would have just been over.
That was crazy. One person got away.
Did they have the broken leg?
Yes, they like crawled away and got just far enough, and then started healing. And it was that was wild. Like
Oh yeah.
that was extremely wild. If you guys want to go see it, I one of these days I might freaking re-upload it to level 1 just so you guys could check it out. But it is on my personal channel that I haven't used in Lord knows how long. Um,
Oh my gosh, imagine that.
it's probably like 2 years now. Because once I
Uh,
started here at level 1, yeah, it'd be 2 years in May here at level 1. So or June.
sh- what's its name? May, I think, is what it will mark a year for me.
Yeah, see, yeah, it's crazy sauce, man. But okay, so Oculus, Oculus, Oculus,
Yeah,
Oculus,
yeah, it's
Oculus.
time
It's time.
to deep dive into our final topic.
Okay. So guys, I've I've been sitting on some change for a bit, and I kept telling myself and talking to my wife about it. Like, hey, I want to I want to get a VR. I want that Oculus. I want it bad. And there's absolutely no need for it. There's no need because I have plenty of games to play and movies to watch, and I got plenty of other things to do, right? But I was like, I want this. Well, when I got it, I immediately understood on a whole new level that this is the future. Um, Once we get to a place where, first off, in my opinion, not even just the gaming space, but just the way everything functions, will dramatically change once internet becomes better accessible and easier to access for everyone. Because if you didn't know, most people around the world, especially here in the U.S., have very crappy internet.
Oh yeah.
Like that is a truth. And if you don't believe me, just ask around, do a little
Yeah, just ask
research.
about my ask about my download speeds.
Yeah, like it's. I know plenty of people who. I mean, my neighborhood, most of these houses were built in like the 70s, and we barely got fiber optics. They've been stringing them up through the neighborhood. They're trying to redo the infrastructure. I don't know if you guys have that in your parts of the U.S., but where I'm at, like it's a city. Well, they're in Bubbles. We'll talk about that. They're definitely gonna make adjustments, but you can already see that when it comes to VR in the future, right? and why I'm saying all of this is they're trying to integrate it into so many different aspects of our day to day. There you already got the horizons. You got people going to movies. They got a thing called big screen where I can invite people in and we can watch movies together. We can hang out and everybody's in their avatar. And then you have different social video games. Like I was earlier today for about 3 hours. I was playing this like Dungeons and Dragons light game called Demio. I believe I'm saying it right. And
Probably not.
probably not, but it's basically it's a turn-based RPG with light D&D or Dungeons and Dragons mechanics. Like it has the dice roll aspect. There's classes, and then the enemies have different things that work in their favor, and the enemies have to roll a dice too. You're like when you're fighting the enemies, it is the DM who's fighting you, and the DM is like this lady who runs the shop that you're at.
AI.
Yeah, it's an AI. It's not people ran.
Okay.
But you get put into these different scenarios. There's different stories. Like so far, I've only played two. The first story I played was the Black Sarcophagus, and I actually completed that one. We two-manned it. And then the most recent one I ran, which was earlier today, it was I don't know if it was the Rat King or the Elven King or something. And
Oh,
it
I
was
please
just,
hope it's the Elven King.
it was something like that. I don't know, but
I want to know you defeated the Elven King.
oh no, we got wiped because we had a young kid who was super rambunctious,
Yeah,
and
I can imagine that.
he was very rambunctious. He meant well, but it just didn't go over well, and like people quit, and and then the game started glitching. Like right when we were getting ready to go to the third and final level. So the way it works, from what I've seen, and my net in Lebanon and shit. Yeah, see, right. I'll get back to that bubbles in a second, but
Lebanon D's nuts.
oh Lord, but I'm I'm sitting here in VR. I'm riding my bike. I didn't want to go to the gym this morning, so I get on my bike and I put on my headset and I'm sitting here playing on a giant Dungeons and Dragons like tabletop board, and I'm moving around the map, talking with people, and you get to like there's these buttons you press and you can grab and move the table and turn around and kind of you're this floating entity moving around, like angling the table however you can see best, so you can see where enemies are and light and shadowed areas, and it just it was
It
an
sounds
it's
like tabletop sim, but like with VR.
yes, that's exactly what it is. That's the easiest way to explain it. Now I'm hooked. I'm hooked.
And anyone that finds that surprising doesn't know Baron.
Yeah, so for those who didn't know, SAO, and actually it started with books. Wait, did it start with the book or the comics first? Or the
Oh,
anime
someone's not a
first?
real fan.
No. I'm trying to think which one got me absolutely hooked into the RPG element. I'll go ahead and say Sword Art Online as an anime like had me hooked, and then I just started want anything to do with isekais, getting stuck in video game worlds, video game mechanics, in literature and movies, and whatever I was absorbing, I got hooked on it, right? So the books I listen to, the books I read, they're all like game lit RPG books. So now that I'm in the ability to kind of put this headset on and disappear. It is the craziest thing I've ever experienced. Like you get for usually I have a good sense of like where I am, but for the first time, like I lifted off my headset and I was like, why am I facing this way? Like I didn't even realize I was facing the direction I was facing. Like I thought I was still facing towards my. So it's nuts. It's completely nuts that
Yeah.
you can get so engulfed in it, and
Oh,
you're
I'm not
there.
surprised. I got to play Half-Life Alyx like last summer, but
Ooh,
not the whole thing. Like it was the three of us playing on one set, and we just kind of alternated.
got you.
But man, that was my like first real VR interaction too. So like it was a very interesting experience. Like thankfully, do you know like the plot of Alex and stuff?
Not really. I don't. I'm gonna be honest. Half Life, and I believe I own both of them. I don't think I've ever played Half Life.
All right. Well, I don't know if it's like a really important part anyways. As someone that has not played any of the games. There's like the only part of the game that's like the horror element. Of course, I got stuck with.
Oof.
You had to get the flashlight, but it was on the other side of a very dark room with absolutely stuff, crawling all around in there. And as soon as you grab it and turn around with like the stick, because it's a little weird, bam, there's like some stuff jumping out at you, like literally just jumping from the
Oh.
darkness.
I
Uh, I flinched.
no. Let me piggyback off the horror factor. Maybe it's just because I'm just a scaredy cat from jump, but the the Netflix in Oculus, right? Let me paint this picture for you guys. You put on your headset, you go to the menu, and you're like, "Oh, I just want to watch some Netflix. I don't know why. Like, I'm by myself.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I want to watch something different for my kids. I don't know, right?"
Mhm.
Well, when you boot it up, it sets you in this like log cabin style, like up in the mountains home, and it's a pretty big home. Like it's a virtually it's a big space. You're sitting on this red couch. You got a big coffee table in front of you. You got a coffee mug. You got some magazines, and then you have like this huge TV, this fireplace style TV. It's huge. It's just
Oh,
sitting in
I'm
front of
looking at
you.
it now.
Okay, you're seeing a picture of what I'm describing.
Yeah.
Um, and you're in this huge freaking space,
Oh,
and you can look around. You can't. At least I don't think you can get up and move around, but you can look around, and it's creepy as hell because you're just in this house. There's a stairwell behind you. There's a
yeah, I'm
door
looking at that
behind you
now.
onto the left. And then there's a
Heck
second
no.
floor area. And the house looks like The Shining. Like that's the first thing I think of when I'm in there.
Oh yeah, it does.
And um and it doesn't help that once you actually click on something to watch in Netflix, it actually dims all the lights and it gets darker, but you're still in that room. And a part of me, the not trusting, like panic attacky version of me, is like, hey, something's gonna scare you. Like something's going to jump out. Like that was the whole point of this. Um, and after rewatching this fight that we're witnessing right now, I should have won. I definitely panicked.
Yeah, but you yinged when you should have yanged.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Um, dude, I'm telling you, just that. Yeah, it reminds me of a horror scene, and it takes me a minute to get comfortable. But you get so engulfed in it that you forget that you are in like a real world. Like there's things going on around you. Now, this is somebody who's grown up gaming. This is somebody who's grown up watching, you know, playing video games, watching all different types of media. I have a pretty good grasp on, for the most part, what's real and what's fake, right?
Sure.
Now, imagine you put this in some, like, I don't know, 60-year-old person's hands who's never really played video games or watched anything outside of basic TV. If
Uh-huh.
it can make me feel that way, imagine, or even just somebody period who hasn't been with like technology like that. I remember seeing a video of a guy. They did he always wanted to be an astronaut, and he was an older gentleman. And they put him in like the reenactment of the Apollo mission or something. I forgot exactly which one. Um, or
Hopefully
go
not
launch.
Challenger.
Yeah, I don't think it was a Challenger. That's not funny. Uh, and it was just so trippy watching this man like just cry, you know, because he was just so like just able to escape and dive into that. Now, where I caught that feeling is they had this map program on there where you get it's like a Google Maps thing, but then it's also like a user generated thing where you get to kind of walk around and then look at the world in different at different points in time, like from like the original first Google images to like recent last year. And it was pretty cool to like go places, and like I went and searched a couple areas in Boston where we spent some time, and the hostel we stayed at, the building got demolished, and the only reason I knew it got demolished is because I seen it in the damn thing in the app, and I was like, wait, it's gone, like, and I had to go back in time and see what happened. And first it changed it. First it used to be like a nightclub type thing. Then it changed into the hostel, and then it changed to another hostel, and then all of a sudden it got like boarded off, and then you like see them tearing it down, and then you see it gone, and now it's like boarded up, waiting to be turned into something else. It's like an empty lot.
You can
Uh
say that the last developers were a little hostile towards the hostel.
oh God, he did it. But it was a trip, and then like I went to like my grandmother's house and just went and like stood in front of it and like went back in time, and then seen like my dad and my little brother outside, because remember the Google
Oh, that's
cars.
the best part. Yeah,
Yeah, and it just
we were on one of those too. I forget what
yeah,
year it is, but there we were.
and it was just super trippy to see. And then like in like remote areas are different, or not even remote areas, but just there's user generated stuff where they utilize the app in order to take pictures and kind of capture the area. And they like it was in the middle of was it like it was somewhere in the Sahara Desert. I want to say
Mhm.
like southern Morocco or something. I don't know, but it was just like somebody took a moment. They were in a studio in the middle of like the desert near an oasis, making a song, and like you're just in the room and you just see everybody kind of. I was like, what the hell? But then I started getting nervous because I was like, dang, I wonder if I like click on a dot and I'm like, I witnessed something crazy, like.
Oh, yeah, see, that's exactly what'll happen. And
And
like
that's
it'll
why I was
get
like,
shut down.
yeah, and that's why I was like, you know what? Let me back out.
Oh my God, World Star integration.
Bro, I'm telling you.
Oh my God, that would people would pay for that.
That's what I'm saying. Like it just like I wasn't totally ready for that. You know what I mean?
No.
And that's why I started thinking too much, and I was like, yeah, let me back out. Let me get out of here. But my point, rolling back to the internet part. Once once internet becomes a standard utility, we like to think it is. It feels so essential, but there's still so many places where the internet is crap.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I mean, here in the U.S. alone, I mean, I got cousins who deal with like data issues and talking about,
I
oh,
can
next
imagine.
month. Yeah. So, but once we get to that point, and with the VR and the motion sickness, I think they'll figure out a way to fix that. Maybe not for all, but maybe they'll make it a little more adjustable. I was playing this adventure game where I was kind of flying around, and I was running around in the map, and I found myself like leaning forward, and I had to like catch
Oh,
myself. I was like, oh snaps! Like I thought I was pretty grounded, but apparently not. Um, it's an experience, man. I I'm hooked. I just bought my first MMO in there. I haven't played it
is
yet.
it that? Is it the one you showed me?
The not that I didn't download that one because I was reading the reviews, and I guess there's an issue they have with like kid admins, and they're like going
Oh,
around robbing people, and like one guy was like, dude, I just spent all this time crafting this weapon, because you have to like chisel the actual items. Like it's not just, oh, let me go and make a wood log. Let me just go make a hilt. Like it's no, like you're chiseling in game. And I was like, oh, I'm totally down, and I know Johnny would love this damn game. But then it was like as soon as I finished putting it together, somebody ran up and stole it. And like and then I guess the developers responded to somebody, and and it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but I get what they're saying. It's something along the lines of, if we police it too much, then it's no longer a public server. And I was like, but you gotta have some ground rules. Like, if robbery is gonna be a part of the game, then let that be a part of it. Make it a class or something, or I don't know. But yeah, people running around getting all their loot taken. I don't know. I'd rather not deal with that, but it's cheap enough to where I'm still thinking about getting it. I mean, I think it's like $10, so it might be a purchase that gets made.
We shall certainly see.
Right.
You're gonna watch it with great interest.
Oh yeah, I'll probably try to. Let me on the final moments. Warning to those who didn't know: if you're thinking about getting the Oculus, or getting any type of real VR like headset, do not, for the love of everything that is holy, first off, read all the directions. Don't be like me, and do not go outside with it unless it's in a case or completely covered. Thank God, the damage that I did to mine was, it's still visible, but it's like it's at an angle to where, like your nose, you know how you always see your nose, but your brain just makes it, your brain technically moves it out of your line of sight, like makes it to where it's not really that visible. That's how this spot is in my VR world. Like it, once I focus on it, I can see it. It's clear as day. It's annoying, but once I get in the flow of things, I'm not even recognizing it. I haven't tried streaming yet to see if it's going to be there in the stream, because if it's going to be there in the stream, that's going to suck, and I'd feel bad and probably won't ever stream with it if that's the case. But
you would think that'd just be the raw gameplay and not your perspective of like what you're seeing through the actual device,
and
if you
not
know what I mean.
what uploads. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping, and that's what I believe is going to happen. But I just want to check first before, hey, going live. Oh, what's the yellow stains on your screen? Wipe your screen. Like I can just hear it now because I would say it to somebody.
Wipe your screen.
But yeah, make sure to read the directions and take that very serious. I mean, and then once it happened to me, I went and read it to see if there was like ways to fix it, this, that, and the third. And of course not. And of course, it's the one thing that they don't fix warranty wise. But also, it's so sensitive that I've read stories of people like I just set it down on my kitchen counter and like the clouds cleared and my window was open and it like shined in and killed my unit. Like crazy stories. So much so that I have I keep a little like handkerchief over my visor as of now. Like that's how paranoid I am now.
So what you're saying is we're not ready for full deep dive. We're not there.
Not yet, but seeing that we're where we are now, and this would be my final note, in 10 to 20 years, barring nothing crazy happens, or as soon as we hit some type of memory, okay. I feel like, and this is going to go off on a tangent, and I'm going to try to keep it short. I feel like the moment we can figure out a way with cooling and storage, we've already kind of gotten storage, but cooling. Once we can figure out a way, I think that's going to be our biggest barrier. Because could you imagine how hot a deep dive VR unit would be?
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely imagine.
Because, I mean, we see computers, like, what are those overclock tests where they keep dumping liquid nitrogen over them, like, to get them to run them as fast as they can?
I haven't seen any of this.
Let me see. I'll find it and send it to you. But it's The future, man. This is the future. It really is.
Yeah.
It,
I
it's
mean, I can imagine it.
it's definitely there. Um, I'm excited to see where it goes. I used to think it was gimmicky. I used to be one of the ones like, that's cheesy. But no, this I've gotten in at a good point, and I'm enjoying myself. And the communities I've experienced are pretty cool. The way they have the local voice chat is pretty dope. Like if somebody's far away from you, but we're in the same quote unquote lobby or room, you can kind of hear them. And then as you get closer, you can hear them in that direction that they are. And then when you get up on them, it's like a full conversation, but they're still at the angle in which you're facing them. Bro, it's a marvel. And then the fact that I don't have to have any external stuff outside of what they bought, what came with it. Like I didn't have to go buy a microphone, I didn't have to buy a headset. It's
It
all
just
within the.
works.
It just works. And on that note, that's my final say. I believe this stuff is the future. You got any other parting words, Johnny?
I can't wait for the day where we are fully deep dived and we're in like this one computer program or like world or whatever you want to call it where like this you build your own nation inside the game, right? And like there's this big war between two player nations in deep dive world, but the admins find out that one of them cheated and they all get banned and sent back to the real world.
Oof. Oof. Could you imagine, dude?
So
Reality is gonna be so trash once we get
yeah,
once we get to that point.
you unplug and you're just like in Wally now. Just like what?
Wait, what? How do we? And you're all
I
just
don't
in
remember
a
getting in
garbage
this
bin.
chair.
You're in a garbage bin, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get. Oh god. But yeah, folks, it's been real. Johnny, you want to send them off with the parting words?
You do it. I need your loyalty again,
Nah,
especially when you didn't defeat the Elf King.
man. Listen to the elves and
Ugh.
the empire. It'll be adjusted, and it'll turn into a democratic republic.
This is
And
why the people call us StarCrossed lovers, Baron. You're gonna be loving elves like this. This is the idea people are gonna get. Just reject the lies of the elves. Long live the Empire. And you
and
can actually read an article about the Empire on Level 1 right now, by the way. I wrote it.
Yep,
Just,
check it
go
out.
check
It's
that out.
actually it's why the Empire is gonna win the next Great War in the Elder Scrolls universe. But much love, guys.
And beat the elves.
Peace.
Adios.